20/11 friends. It's very cold in the Central Highlands right now. Here you are. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. And the crickets started eating pretty well. I opened the door, let the sun in, let it warm. In Daklak this period begins in the dry season and cassava leaves don't have many of you. This season is quite small. I'm thinking about how to do it. It's about 15 degrees in the morning. But the crickets are still eating quite a lot. Oh, the crayon cage I'm filming. This is a cricket
Let's show
pen.
you.
22 days old, 22 days old. It's very fortunate that, at this point, it starts to get cold, and so does it. It doesn't affect the growth process very much. That is, if it's a baby, it will be more affected. They have reached this age range. It's a strength to withstand its cold. In addition to its food. If it is strong, you will suffer. When the temperature gets low, it's better. Here you are. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, and the crickets started eating pretty well. I opened the door, let the sun in, let it warm. In Daklak, this period begins in the dry season. Cassava leaves are not many. You cassava leaves this season are quite few. I'm thinking about how to do it. No more cassava leaves. Or do some research to find out. Put the substance in the cassava leaves directly into a. Bran always clean food, give it always. I see it abroad. People still raise it that way. That is, not feeding leaves like with me. I feel like this season there are no leaves. And growing on a large scale is very difficult, folks. Not to mention that even if I have a leaf, I'm done picking leaves. Put the leaves in the pen, feed them things. It's a waste of time. It takes a lot of time. I don't know about you. Let's say 10. The 20 barns are starting to see the pole. There are 50 more cages. It's extremely time-consuming. It almost takes a job. Someone who specializes in getting leaves for you. Cricket at this stage. He was 22 days old when he was the second time. And it doesn't look very good right now, but I'll be there in about 4 days. The heads of a child, too. It's kids like this, guys. Here are the ones like this, they're peeling off. There are these that haven't been stripped. This one just peeled off. This one will be the same as this one in 2 or 3 days. So it is. It actually looks like this. I haven't seen a uniform fall. It will take 2 or 3 days to see it. So it's a lot. Don't worry about that either. At the end of my career, 0 is actually. I have to know what stage it's at. And at what stage. It's all done. When they start to shed, there are some. Are there children? Then those peels will be extremely. It's much bigger than the Kia, but the Kia. It's because it hasn't been peeled yet. In a few days, it will be peeled off. It's up, it's equal, guys. Here, you can see these little ones. Yes, but also, it's black, you see. It's about level. It'll molt in 4 days. It's about as big as the Kia. I use this net to protect the birds. It's cold, guys. Let me show you the cold cover. This season is better than the evening. That's it. Just look at the net, guys. But actually, it's a lot better than that. Make this net. The lizard can still get in. The mouse can still get in, but cold resistant and resistant. The birds and all that. And it's the season that paper spawns. If it flies, this net is very good. You can follow this. In the middle of this, I made a wooden stick. This middle column in. The other column is also set up. I still use wood on both ends, guys. These 2 heads. I also made 2 pieces of wood like this. And let me get out. It's kind of like that. If you look like this, you can easily imagine it. This is simple. This net is a miserable net. 1 ma day you suffer 1 ma day. The length, you can cut it yourself. Depending on the length of the cage. Then for some note that this cold season cricket. For a healthy diet, I also share. For your reference. The first is. It's not as strong as the season. It's a hot season, so we have to solve moderate food levels. There must always be food in the temple. You guys, it's like the hot season, it eats row 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 row. Eat extremely fast. You eat extremely fast. Then we feeding can be 2 or 3 hours of food, and here it will eat according to the temperature. For example, at noon, it starts to eat, or it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and it's sunny. When it's cold, it doesn't eat. So in the cage we have to. There always has to be food. So that if it's warm, it'll eat, guys. Same with cassava leaves. It's best to have cassava leaves in the cage at all times. And especially this season. This cold season must be more and more cassava leaves. Because I have explained it in the book many times. It has vitamin C and a folate is a lot. These two substances help. It increases the resistance. Increased resistance that the cold season is the same. Cold season where the resistance is not high. It's very common for minor illnesses to occur. You have to pay attention to yourself. The places this cassava leaf is in the cage must always have. It's best that way. You can buy it in the cold season. And with this whole breed, you can let it thicken. This cold season we can drop thicker compared to the dry season, hot season. Well, for example, in the hot season, a 7 square foot shed is 6. This season we can drop up to 8 trays. So that's an example. And in fact, if you raise a lot, you have experience. Watch. You're out. But for those of you who haven't raised, we can take note of the problem. Then there's another problem. I also shared videos. Before that, it was the wind. As you can see here. Hey guys. Called around us here. Do you see it outside? It's AB 40 fence outside. Is to run the kind of black grid that lets sun cover, give that tree a nursery. Outside runs this black grid. Outside runs this black grid. And there's another tarp here to block the wind. The wind is swinging. You see? This season, if you live in areas where there are strong winds, we have to cover the wind. The wind is very cold. At night, we open this net. Come on, open guys. The net. That net. In fact, the main purpose is to prevent it from flying out. Roots it from flying out. And if it's good, then you can buy a clip around here. This one around here, it can fight mice too. But you have to put your shoes on. It takes a little bit of work. But for areas where there are rats, then we clamp. Put this in and it's still there. Can still be anti-mouse, very good. It's a bit cold, guys. It's still somewhat cold resistant. I hope that the next study will be successful. What is this bran? To add a coarse matter into. To use every fish I raise crickets, it is very healthy. Just morning feeding, lunch, 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 no more leaves. It took me a while to grow this for 3 years. The rainy season is also very intense. The rainy season is wet. The dry season doesn't have enough leaves to feed it. But now count it. For example, we have about 30 barns. You need at least one. That's 1,000 square meters to grow leaves. That's 1,000 square meters, if I could use it for something to grow something. The economy is much better. Now I have lost a land fund. That's about 1,000 square meters. It will also be a talk about the efficiency of the economy. When it comes to raising crickets, it will be affected. That means we've lost a land fund. Well, many of you will ask the question, so let's take it. That cassava tree planted miles into the range that. Is it okay to grow coffee or pepper? In fact, we can still grow it. But that, to be honest with you, it's not much. Because it's actually the void in the lotus pot. Not much. If we raise the range. In 7 cages, 10 cages. But if you keep about 15 cages, 20 barns. Planting doesn't work, not to mention. We plant those trees when we're hungry. That's us. Insecticide spray for plants. Then it clings to cassava leaves sometimes. For example, if you're growing in the fields, or someone's wife, they spray. You don't know why I keep breaking them. That's a lot. You guys have been in trouble. Vegetables are infected with drugs. That's what happens to a lot of you. Then I will. Let's see if there's a way to just feed the crickets. Every food is enough to. It's as much about taking over the land as it is about taking over the land. Well, in the crickets business. Yes, and if it works, I'll share it with you in the following videos. And today's video, please allow me to stop here. Do you have any questions? Or any question? You can leave it at the bottom of the comments. I'll reply to you in the next video, and if you see this video, or you can give me a like, a comment on, and a follow me. Let me be motivated to do the following videos. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next videos.